It's Tuesday, February 25th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. This island's largest teachers' bargaining agent is calling for government to slow down with its plans to abolish the common entrance exam. During yesterday's estimates debate, Education Minister Cynthia Bradshaw revealed that steps to abolish the 11 plus, as it is more commonly known, will begin as early as next month. The minister is hoping that students setting the exam in May will be the last group to do so. But President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Sean Spencer, tells Barbados Today that union members were expecting a phased approach that would take 2 to 5 years. Spencer says there are many issues which needed to be fixed in the system before and after the exam. Meantime, Minister Bradshaw said gender identity issues have not yet surfaced in public schools and is not a priority for the government at this time. She made that position clear in response to a question posed by opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley in reference to a controversy late last year at a private school involving a male student whose parents said identified as female.
What you speak of, as I said, I have not been confronted with it, but I will deal with it when that time comes. In relation to what bigger issues we are confronting, which I would be interested to hear not only your political perspective, but also a perspective perhaps from the church as well, in relation to issues that are confronting our society and schools in relation to drugs and drug use, and the introduction of what is commonly being referred to as the mollies and the amphetamines that are creeping into the system, that is creating more of a problem than the problem that you have just highlighted that is on the horizon. Those are the issues that I am preoccupying my mind with and the Cabinet of Barbados on a daily basis as to how we deal with it. So not to trivialize the issue that you have raised, but I'd like to put things in perspective. And I think that that is something that should concern all of us. The fact that young people are using and consuming drugs at a younger age.
The proliferation of guns in the country is causing the Attorney General some sleepless nights. Last year, most of the 49 murders committed were gun-related, and so too are most of the 5 murders recorded so far this year. Attorney General Dale Marshall said an unprecedented number of illegal weapons made it into the country through the island's port over the last few years.
We have a large number of guns on our street. That's it. Not the only one, but that's the one that certainly causes me to stay awake at night. Now, those guns did not come into Barbados last month, or a month before, or a year ago. The criminal element in Barbados has been importing guns into Barbados with a frequency over the last few years, or with an intensity over the last few years, that was unprecedented. And the environment was right because the scanners at the port were down most of the time. So criminals were able to come into the port, bring and collect guns that had been shipped in.
Despite this, Mr. Marshall said the Royal Barbados Police Force has made significant headway in reducing the number of firearms on the streets.
This problem was not created in the last 2 years, but in the last 2 years we have made significant strides in reducing the number of firearms making their way into Barbados. And you know, the shootings make the press, but the seizures don't. The seizures don't. But every day I get in my communication brief from the police, I get information. AG, we seized 4 guns today, 4 Glocks. AG, we seized 2 Glocks today. AG, we seized that, we seized this. So I know that they are making progress. But the fact is that we are trying to wrestle to the ground a situation that has been in the making for a number of years, and the last government have to carry the burden of this squarely on their shoulders.
In other news, workers at the C.O. Williams Construction Company down to tools indefinitely over demands for a pay increase. Our KAREEM Smith has a full report.
Industrial action at one of Barbados' biggest names in construction has spilled over into a second week. Early Monday morning, employees at the C.O. Williams Construction Company Limited walked off of the job indefinitely. It's a move that could threaten to cost the company thousands of dollars, but one which workers say is necessary as they seek to secure a salary increase for the first time in 8 years. Officials from the Barbados Workers Union were on hand to speak with workers during the morning period, but said they could not speak with the press as they awaited word from Deputy General Secretary Dwayne Paul. A workers' representative, however, explained that management claims that the company cannot afford the increase. The official told Barbados Today that union officials started their negotiations for an increase of 15%, a figure which management has continued to ignore or counter with a proposal of their own. Workers who did not want to be identified told Barbados Today that over the last 18 months, the company had seen a massive resurgence in business contracts, particularly in the asphalt division. According to them, these projects require them working both day and night, as well as on weekends and public holidays. Some of these include a massive construction project at Bordered Hall in St. George, along with road repairs at Wilby, 2 Mile Hill, Government Hill, St. Thomas Parish Church, and from Lancaster to Mile and a Quarter in the north of the island. Meanwhile, efforts to reach General Manager Neil Weeks or founder Sir Charles Williams have been unsuccessful. KAREEM Smith for Barbados Today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Regional developments now. The opposition People's United Party and its supporters took to the streets of Belize this past weekend in a march against corruption. We get more in this report from News 5.
Leader of the opposition, John Bersenio, led the charge for this political protest.
Well, the message that the people are tired of this UDP government, they're tired of the corruption, the vindictiveness, and they want hope. And the only hope they see now is by having a government that's led by the People's United Party.
But for many Belizeans, the answer to stomp out corruption may not be as simple as voting in a new political party, considering that the PUP's past was beleaguered with allegations, one that the UDP and sections of the public haven't forgotten.
We had our problems, but we were to fix them once it was brought to attention. Here we have a UDP government that continues to try to cover up their mistakes. They have never stood up and said, we have done something wrong.
And finally, the coronavirus death toll climbed to 7 in Italy on Monday, while several Middle East countries were dealing with their first infections. More in this report from Reuters TV.
Outbreaks of the coronavirus outside of Asia are continuing to grow, leading to more deaths, particularly in Italy and the Middle East. Italian authorities on Monday reported at least 6 fatalities from the virus, and about a dozen small towns near Milan have been put into effective quarantine. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, an outbreak in Iran seems to be spreading to its neighbours. There have been at least 12 people killed in that country from the disease and dozens more infected, according to Iranian authorities. Nearby Iraq reported its first known case on Monday in an Iranian student who travelled there for religious studies. Kuwait and Bahrain announced their first cases as well, all people who'd recently been in Iran. Part of the Iraqi-Kuwaiti border has been closed. The UAE, a major travel hub for the region, has reported over a dozen cases, including among Iranian tourists. Asia remains the epicentre.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.